Welcome to May's Quilt Block of the Month, where we are going to make a kaleidoscope quilt block. And kaleidoscope just gives you more color to our already colorful quilt, doesn't it?
Yes, we can't live without color, right? So the first thing you want to do is download your pattern. You'll have a paper with a template on it. There'll be two. One is B and one is A. Make sure that you cut around your black line. You want to leave some space because your black line is your sewing line, and we're going to create a 1/4 inch seam allowance by cutting 1/4 of an inch away from your black line. So
we're going to make a template now.
Yes, we have two methods we'll show with items that you have around your house. One is freezer paper and the other one's cardboard. Now freezer paper you can buy in your section where you have
in the grocery store, the same section where you have tin foil
and saran wrap and those kind of things. So let's take a little bit of glue and we'll put it on our template and place it right here. And then using a ruler and our paper rotary cutter, we're going to cut a 1/4 of an inch seam allowance for our template.
And that's just your guide.
Yes.
I'm just going to fold that back.
And we can leave the template on top, which will give it some more thickness and makes it easier to cut. So just leave the guide on there. It also labels the pieces that we're cutting.
Oh, good idea.
So this is A that we're cutting, and it's on your template. And what we'll do is take some, this is out of our colored fabric. So I've got some colored, I've just kind of layered it and I folded it 4 times. And we're going to place this on our fabric. Let me scoot this down. The nice thing about the freezer paper is you can move it and it's reusable. You can reuse it like several times.
It's adjustable.
So you'll note that it just kind of adheres just enough that you can cut around your template. So now we'll cut with our paper around fabric.
A lot of times when you're appliquing, you use freezer paper to cut out your blocks. So you can do the same thing.
And I know there's lots of other methods for doing templates. And just pick your favorite. These are just some ideas of items that you could have in your home.
Make sure you're careful not to shift your fabric, right?
Yeah.
And I'm using my sharp fabric
and
rotary cutter.
And so you'll know for this block you want 4 colored and then 4 white. So we're cutting off 4 pieces.
And we made different color combinations because we've got a lot of color going on in this quilt.
Right. So that's the first method. The second method is a piece of cardboard. This is just a gift box that I cut. And so what you can do is, again, I think I'll actually put it on the white side. This side's a little, it might adhere to the fabric a little better. And place that on there. And again, you're making a 1/4 inch seam allowance around this piece, and you're cutting with your paper rotary cutter. Now when you're cutting several layers for different blocks, it's nice just to have a little bit of a thickness to your template. That's why I like the cardboard or the freezer paper, because you're using it over and over again.
There you go.
So you want to make sure those are exact. So on this one, you're just going to take your white, and this is again 4 layers, and you're going to adhere it. I think, let's try a little bit of glue here just to hold that in place.
So it's not moving around.
Yeah. And that'll just hold it for you so you can cut your layers.
It's just a little thicker, gives a little more stability.
Yeah.
But either one, freezer paper, this works out.
Yeah, and note Cindy's still keeping her ruler on that black edge so she can create her 1/4 inch measurement. And again, it's just having that perfect template. Yeah.
And then you can kind of check it against your template, make sure it looks good.
Okay. All right, so let's begin. Let's take off our templates and peel back your freezer paper. And these pieces, of course, is your colored corner and then your white. So if we keep these all together, we can just know that we're going to sew this one to this one. Now, one of the things I have learned is make sure that you match your points down here. You want to take a
Your
quarter of
center
an
point,
inch
not your
right
point
here.
down here.
This one will hang over a quarter of an inch,
Okay.
so that when it's laid out, it will run
Be even.
straight with that. Okay?
So we're just going to do 4 sections right now.
Yeah. We're just going to create these 4 sections.
All right.
A colored
let's
to
go
a white.
sew.
All right, so here we have our 4 sections with our colored and our white, and I'll press those, and then you'll see how
Press
that's
to the dark. Let's
coming
open those
together.
for you. Do a little
Now you'll
finger press.
notice one of the little things that I learned while sewing these blocks was that if you go a scant smaller than a quarter inch, it'll give you, it barely ends up being a 8.5 inch block, and that'll give you a little leeway to square it up. So here we have our sections, and we're just going to now sew.
2 at a time.
Yes. So you're going to sew this section to that section and that section to that section. Now you'll want to make sure that you're lining up that seam and that you're
So this
overlapping
is
your
the
quarter inch on this
seam
end.
right here.
Yes.
So do you nestle those seams?
Yep, nestle those seams, put a pin
So the points reach.
so that your points can meet.
and they just match right there.
Yep,
So you've got 2 little ears hanging on both sides.
exactly. Yep.
Okay. Let's pin that. Go sew.
The one. All right, so what we've done is create this quarter inch mark right here. Again, I'm going to press this towards that dark side. There's that one. And then this one.
This is really a pretty simple quilt block, isn't
Oh,
it?
it is. It is. And it looks complicated, but it really is not. So here you go. You see your quarter inch here and your quarter inch there. So you'll want to, again, nestle those together and pin so that you're catching
That's
that quarter inch and you
right.
get your points right there in the middle. So again, I like to go a scant smaller than a quarter inch so I don't cut my points off in the center.
Perfectly matched points.
And then try to...
All right.
All right.
And let's take a look.
And look,
And it's
perfectly
perfect.
matched.
Great.
So we'll press this out. And then I noticed when I was squaring these up, there was hardly any room to square up. I mean, this needs to be 8.5 inches by 8.5 inches. So you'll note that you've got little tags and ends. And so I'd be very careful about, taking anything off because we're going to be adding a 1.5 inch border when we put all these blocks together.
And that is just barely on. So I think I'm
But
just going to take,
probably
yep, just
barely,
that.
like just a hairline.
Get that edge off. Just the tiniest.
Make sure you're not taking too much, that you've still got your...
Looks like it's just the white center that's just off ever so slightly.
And then let's line it up on the bottom here and check that. Okay, that looks awesome. Yeah, that looks good. So now you've got your block all squared up and
Look
ready to
quick
go.
and easy.
Yes.
Like so great. You
got
can
all
show our
these-
other blocks.
yes, all these fun colors: yellow, navy, orange.
And we have pictures of our finished quilts, so
Right.
you can copy what we're doing or do your own thing.
So you're making these 6 blocks out of the Kaleidoscope.
So thanks for joining us for the month of May. Next month we'll be working on birthday presents.
Yes.